The Money Merge account program works with the same money management principles many of you already use. These include keeping a savings account for tucking money away, using a checking account in order to easily access and move your money, and potentially utilizing various lines of credit to responsibly draw on money as needed or to have as a reserve. Having a mortgage or multiple types of debt is a typical part of the average person's overall financial picture. Here's the interesting thing though. When we look at a debt, we all too often only focus on the interest rate or the lowest possible monthly payment. Even though lenders are required to tell us how much the total payments will be over the course of a loan, it's easy to see only what we want to see. So, let's take a look at our sample loan for John and Rebecca Jones. Their original loan amount was $200,000 with a 30-year or 360-month term. They have a fixed interest rate of 6%, which gives them a monthly payment of $1,199.10. If they make every payment on time with no additional funds applied to principal for 30 years and they don't refinance that loan or move to another location, they'll pay back a total of $431,676. That means they borrowed $200,000 in principal and they're now obligated to pay back an additional $231,676 in interest alone. That's more than they borrowed in the first place. Most of the interest on closed-end loans is paid at the beginning of the loan. This is called front-end loading the loan. Let's take a moment and review the amortization schedule for John and Rebecca's loan. If John and Rebecca make their first payment to this loan, we can see that $1,000 goes to interest and $199.10 is applied to the principal of that loan. If we move on to month number 2, we can see that the principal contribution to this loan has only increased by $1, with $200.10 now being applied to the principal loan amount. In the first year of their loan, provided John and Rebecca's home is still worth $200,000, they'll have made $14,389 in payments and their potential equity position is only $2,457. By year 5, they have made $71,946 in total payments, and their potential equity position is only $13,891. In fact, it will take John and Rebecca 21 years following their contracted payment schedule to pay back just one-half of the original principal loan amount. By the time they pay $100,000 in principal, they'll have paid approximately $200,000 in interest. So, even though a 6% interest rate seems pretty low, when you're looking at a volume of money as large as a home mortgage, the interest really adds up. With the Money Merge account program, we finally have a tool to effectively manage our mortgage and our consumer debt. I mentioned earlier that the Money Merge account program uses well-known banking tools and strategies that many of us are very familiar with. The minimum requirements for the Money Merge account program are that the user has a checking and savings account. The Money Merge account program needs 2 separate accounts for maximum efficiency. So, let's take a minute and identify some of these accounts and assign them some simple terminologies. The first account the program will need we'll call a deposit account. This is simply any account into which we can deposit money or our income and which can be used to easily access our money. The most commonly used deposit accounts would be a checking or a savings account. Along with this deposit account, the program will also need a separate or secondary account that we will call a facilitating account. The most common facilitating accounts are savings accounts and lines of credit like a personal, business, or a home equity line of credit. What the Money Merge account program does is to tell the user exactly how much money to move, exactly when to move that money, and the most efficient accounts to use. As you earn and deposit money into your designated deposit account, the program will strategically allocate money to build up reserves in your facilitating account with any funds that are not currently being used. This can result in interest earned in a savings account or interest canceled in a line of credit. As you proceed through a month, you'll be following the prompts of the software to either deposit money into your deposit account or transfer very precise dollar amounts of money to your facilitating account. Once the software recognizes that you and the software working together have accumulated the proper amount of reserves in your facilitating account, it will then trigger an auto-generated funds transfer to attack a specific debt. The mathematical engines that drive the program constantly monitor the reserves available in the facilitating account and will occasionally prompt you to send strategic, principal-only payments called funds transfers to a specific debt. These funds transfers are calculated to the penny, are prompted by the software at the most optimal time, and are directed toward quickly paying down the debt, all of which will result in the best possible interest savings. In the case of John and Rebecca's mortgage example, sending a funds transfer of $5,000 in the first year of the loan could save them more than $23,000 of future interest and eliminate about 2 years' worth of monthly payments. By consistently following this tailor-made plan of strategic funds transfers over the course of the program, paying off a 30-year debt in a half to one-third of the time actually becomes reality. And if you think the results are amazing based on one loan, like a mortgage, imagine what it can do for the majority of people who have multiple debts. The more debts you have, the more overwhelming it can be to come up with a plan to pay those debts down. Did you know that having just 6 debts mathematically presents over 700 possible payoff scenarios? Take a look at these debts. How many of these do you currently have? How do you know you currently have the best game plan to follow? Would you even know where to start? The beauty of the Money Merge account program is that it will actually examine every debt you have, such as car loans, credit cards, student loans, mortgages, and more. After looking at every possible scenario for paying those debts off, the program will present you with your own tailor-made strategy to pay off your debt completely in a time frame you wouldn't have believed possible. As simple as the system is for the user, the math calculations and programming within the system are incredibly complex. It took years of research, development, programming, and testing to perfect it. It takes the guesswork out of your plan. Its precise calculations examine every aspect of your financial picture and adjusts with your daily life. Your financial future is now as easy as point and click.